So here's how you go ahead and begin actually using this doc that you see in front of you, how to generate multiple six figures of capital of 0% capital for your business. So the first top of all the way to page 9, what we have here is a little bit of my own background, some of my own successes, including a lot of success stories from our clients. So right here, this is a case study. This is actually a case study on myself, if you will. However, I have generated a little over $600,000 for my businesses in only 0% APR that I've been able to re-leverage back into all of my businesses. I own a total of 4. I have passive income stuff, but also I'm partnered in a couple of other businesses, from minor to major roles. So, for example, just one of my cards, I have spending power of $180,000, right? This one was approved for 45,000. This one's 25,000, 20,000, 15,000. The list goes on and on. These are just some of the a little bit more recent ones that I have gotten. Right here for Gabe. Gabe has secured over $1 million of funding across all of his entities. Right, here's a text message I have from him. This is for Gary. Gary was able to leverage over $100,000 of funding into his e-commerce businesses and brands. He's been able to leverage that capital to not only buy material, supplies, merchandise, but also to open up additional e-com brands that he's been able to leverage into Amazon FBO. Cam and Arthur, what's cool about these guys is they were able to get $70,000 of seed capital about 30 days after the initiation of their business. You know, they're still working with us at this moment, but they're able to get 70 grand in less than 30 days, which is incredible. Right here is just one of their cards. They got through Chase, through our help, $60,000 limit. And this is at 0% for 12 months. Evan was able to get over $100,000 in a 2-month-old business. Arsal was able to get $72,000 within 2 weeks of joining, and his was in December. His business had started in October. Jason, 85,000, 0% APR within his first week of joining, and then Darren nearly $200,000 within 6 months of joining with us. So, brief little intro. Now, the purpose of this doc, mind you, is 80% of this is actual tangible things that you can do within your business to go ahead and begin acquiring and leveraging capital within your business, whether if you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, or even if you're an investor, right? This is particularly impactful for investors because our primary focus are 0% APR cards and business credit, but in addition to that is also business lines of credit. What's important about all of those things, our primary focus is revolving capital that you can use over and over and over, that frankly doesn't end, which is incredible for an investor because they can take that money, invest it into a property, leverage, for example, Burr method, take the money out, pay everything off. Or the traditional model, if they don't have the cash stowed away already, is they go out and get a hard money loan, right? Which can cost you tens of thousands of dollars. Whereas this model, leveraging 0% cards, you don't pay any money in fees. You don't pay any money in interest. Once you go ahead and refinance a property or you sell it or however you do it within your own process, you just go ahead and pay that debt off and you're in like Flynn. You just rinse and repeat that over and over and over. So the first section is regarding corporate credibility. I go in pretty in depth and into detail what a business should do either when they're first starting or if they did not set themselves up properly. This all has to do with risk mitigation in regards to what the banks look for. As an example, if you have two businesses started at the same time, whereas one business, crossed all their T's, dotted all their I's, and went through and made sure that the professionalism, credibility, legitimacy, branding, legal protection, all of that stuff leads to access to financing because the bank is able to review that business and determine very easily, very quickly, okay, this business is serious. They have everything set in stone. Everything is in order all the way from addresses, phone numbers, emails, URL for the website. Everything has to be laid out. Everything has to be done properly. Now, if you don't have a business yet, you're in a perfect position because this will show you some of the key points on what to do before starting the business. Kind of that ramp up period that very few people actually take in consideration. Whereas if your business is already set up, not a problem. Everything in regarding to what I'm talking about here is something that can be fixed or mended. So it's not a big deal if you're already past that, past the eight ball in that regard, something that can be fixed. And this gives you a pretty good explanation, how to's, direct links, etc., on what you can do to get that corrected. As we can see here, it goes in rather pretty good detail. Another little case study there for you. Now, personal data points. Personal data points are incredibly important because it has to do with personal credit and personal finance. Even though we're talking business funding, personal credit does play a role. Right here, just a quick example. So when I'm referring to personal data points, that is a technical term, but you can boil it down to what does your personal credit look like? And this is, frankly, what a good report should look like if you're trying to go out and get funding. Now, I'm a realist and I understand not everyone's going to have a situation like this, and you might not have a situation like this. And if that is the case, not a problem, right? In here, there are some very useful action steps on what you can do in regarding to inquiries, first steps of structuring your credit, etc., all the way down to how to remove negative items from your credit within 14 days. Now, it is important to note, though, that personal credit is a very fickle process. It's a fickle machine, if I can say the least, because so many different things go into a credit report outside of just what the score is. Okay, I can have two people. One person's a 650 and another person's a 750, and the 650 could actually have a better credit file than what the 750 has. Has everything to do with what's on the report, right? People that work with us, actual clients of Business Cred Academy, they get the leisure and the help of having someone actually guide them through that process on what to do. In addition to that, if they do have negative items, we actually go ahead and get those removed on behalf of our clients. Why? Is because we have a guarantee with our offer. Furthermore, we want to make sure that all of our clients are put into a position at some point of that journey where they can get access in abundance thereof of 0% capital to re-leverage back into the business. And last thing we don't want to have happen is essentially have credit score become that big hurdle that they're struggling with. So we actually get hands-on. We help with that. We go into credit usage, age of credit accounts, different kind of what different loans are, how they turn in effect, number of inquiries, why the number of inquiries on your credit report could be a dictation between an approval or a denial. Anywhere from hard and soft inquiries, as I said a moment ago, first steps structuring your credit, how you can manipulate and change your credit file in a very short period of time to become much more admirable to the bank so that, again, you can get way, way more approvals than denials. Or even if the approvals have really never been an issue for you in the past, a lot of this information will actually be able you to optimize even further. That way you can more or less guarantee your approvals and start having the banks reach out to you and essentially beating down your door to work with you. Number 3 is corporate credit. Now, corporate credit could be used as the same term of business credit if you're familiar perhaps more with that word. This is essentially a how-to on so that your business can begin holding assets and liabilities all on its own without you as an individual having to be connected to them. So it goes along with the idea of separation of business to personal. Brief example that I use that kind of really clicks and runs home with folks. Do you think that Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, these mega wealthy people, or even people that owns a business that does a few $1 million per year, even at that level, do you think that they have their personal stuff obligated to the business? Absolutely not. They have that clear separation, and they do that by establishing and building out their corporate, i.e., business credit. And within here, it shows you exactly what kind of steps you should begin to take. Different platforms, Dun& Bradstreet, Experian, Equifax. Clients of our own, though, they get additional training and additional help and way more hands-on help from my team in regards to this, just because when it comes to corporate credit, it can be a little bit of a process and there can be mistakes that you can very easily make along the way. This information, again, will give you a pretty damn good insight on what to do if you want to go ahead and do it on your own. You can more than likely navigate this process and do it on your own. However, a lot of folks, they simply opt to get the help so that way they can speed up that process much more faster. Now we're getting into business funding. This is the creme de la creme of what we do. Business funding is, as you can see, I go into pretty big detail on actual action steps you can take to go ahead and begin getting some of your first wins for business funding. Now, keep in mind, this is primarily for the use of 0% APR business cards. Now, we do have access for our clients. We do have access to primary lending when it comes to term loans, equipment loans, even merchant cash advances. We have some of the best lenders in the market for that actually works with clients rather than trying to be a loan shark. And that's important to keep in mind. Right here, this is another little piece of material. This is how to hide your credit utilization and including further funding tips. This is our client data success stories. Within here, there is a data sheet of a few thousand of past experiences that we have either heard of or directly been involved with on people going through different banks. Where does the bank pull from, etc. Right here's a short little video. This is just something you can watch in about 15 minutes. This is how to get $20,000 in funding as early as today. Additionally, these are some of the URLs of some of the businesses I'm directly a part of as either an owner or a partner. Now we come to summary and next steps. So I'm just going to kind of read verbatim a little bit. As you have to do is to get business set up properly, establish business corporate credit, optimize your personal credit, hit correct data points, and then hit funding with velocity. Lastly, leverage the funding at scale or seed capital equals money into business revenue. The whole purpose that we do this, ladies and gentlemen, is not for you to get approved for all of this capital for your business to simply look at, ooh and ah over. Right? This is money that you can generate very easily and very quickly for the business so that you can re-leverage it back into the business to turn a profit. Right? If, for example, you were to leverage it back in and reinvest into the business and you know your return is going to be 80 cents on the dollar that you spend, well, guess what? That's a bad investment. You need help and work re-collaborating that. That's another asset that we provide at Business Cred Academy. Every single Friday, all of our clients, either active or past, have an opportunity to meet with me on a group training where everything I talk about is business scale and re-leveraging capital back in, right? Because the next person, if they can go through the due diligence and they know that they're going to invest $1 and make $1.50 back, well, guess what? Now we're starting to talk about an investment. Meaning, if they know they're going to invest $100,000 into an opportunity or into their business, and they can guarantee or feasibly know they're going to be making 150 plus thousand back on the return. Once they pay everything off, guess what? Now they have $50,000 left of pure cash profit. Okay. Now it's just a point of rinse and repeat, and growing those amounts over time. That's how you can begin leveraging $200 plus thousand dollars and making $100,000 per reinvestment, right? And it doesn't just go as far as when I'm saying reinvestment as the point of saying property or anything of that nature, right? If you own a business, guess what? That's the best thing you can bet on. If you want to talk about how the house wins, you're the house, right? And if you bet on yourself and do what needs to be done for yourself and for your own business, you will win. This is a catalyst to rapidly accelerate that process. So that way you don't have to go through the struggle and everything that I had to go through that you might be going through at this moment, trying to spend every single dime that you currently have or every single dime of revenue that you currently receive back into the business, not only for sustainability, but also for growth. If your business isn't growing, your business is dying. Let me repeat that. If your business isn't growing, your business is dying. Okay. And you might be sitting there scratching your head. Okay, how do I grow? Okay, in order to grow, I need to put $80,000 into this machine to bump it up to the next level. Okay. Furthermore, you might not have $80,000. So you're kind of thinking, okay, I'm stuck between a rock and a hard spot. This is that answer to that solution. This is how you can, within a matter of weeks or even sometimes days, get that $80,000, pump into the machine, bump it to the next step, increase the revenue, increase your livelihood, begin building the future of generational wealth and having a business that, whether you build and exit for millions of dollars or you build and pass on to the next person in your family. However you desire to do that, Business Cred Academy can be the first step to your goal to getting to that, right? Now, all you have to do, simply click this link. There's a couple of them in here asking you to book a call with my team. By doing that, we'll talk with you. We will not go off of a script. Every single call that we have with people looking to get involved into this and getting the help, so that way they don't have to, like myself. Now here, it took me years and years and years to figuring out this process. You probably could take this document if you take the real due diligence, but most importantly, if you take the time that's going to be necessary, you can probably crack the code yourself. Probably can. And I'm giving you this opportunity with this document right here and right now for you to do that. However, let's say if you don't have the affordability of time, right? Because frankly, when it comes to business, time is the biggest asset that we have, and it's the biggest asset that we can leverage for more money. Thus, meaning the more time that you have, the more time that you can reinvest back into the things that really move the needle for your business. Because I can promise you, the money you can make by leveraging this process and the capital you can receive and everything else will always far, far, far overweigh the potential of the cost of what it is for you to work with us. That formula, that math will always check out, that you will always be on top, even if you spend the money to work with us, because of the results that's warranted from you doing that, from getting involved here. This is not a course. This is not something, hey, watch a bunch of these videos and figure it out on your own. This is a handheld, step-by-step proven process that you actually get real life people from my team, people that live here in the United States. My team manager lives in Hawaii. Okay. Some of my other guys live in Washington. Some of my guys live in Texas. Some of my guys live on the East Coast, right? Right down here, all of this. Who is it for, though? This is for business owners, entrepreneurs, investors, and motivated beginners. People, for motivated beginners, this is somebody who their biggest desire to start a business, but they don't know how to do it because they don't have a bunch of cash sitting in the bank to fund it, right? Sure, you see all the videos in the world, TikToks, YouTube, Instagram shorts, etc., of people saying, hey, you can start this big glamorous business and make $10,000 a day for only $100 to start. It's bullshit. Okay. If that was the case, they wouldn't be making a video about it, they'd just be doing it and growing it. Okay. Here, though, you can also have some video client customer reviews and then just more testimonials. More resources of people winning that work with this. We've serviced over 3,200 other business owners so far, not year to date, from start of what we do here to current. Okay, so you're not going to be the first person to go through this process, nor will you ever be the last. So if this piques any of your curiosity of any caliber, I challenge you to book a call with my team. See what it looks like to have us get involved and take you to the next step.